What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Tech Swing Podcast with myself, and of course, the brains and brawn of the situation. Coach San over there, decked out in his Eagles gear, and we know, of course, the Eagles played their first preseason game last week, and we'll touch upon that real briefly. But before we do all that, I gotta ask my folks how they been. So, Miguel, it's been a couple weeks. How you been?
Been well, sir. Resting up from summer ball, getting ready for fall ball pretty soon, and yeah, we start practice next week.
So, the fall ball, just let's talk about that real quick for people that may not know. You coach travel ball. And in travel ball, there are like two main seasons for travel baseball, and one of them being the summer, of course. But of course, the other season is the fall ball season, which you do also do some traveling around. A lot of people don't realize there is fall baseball that's played, and sometimes it's with the same guys, and sometimes it's not. And are you going to have the same team? Are you going to have the same group of guys, or is it going to be a little mixed up?
Well, usually from summer to fall, some guys switch teams. We had like three or four guys leave us and go to different organizations. But I would say we're getting back like 80% of the guys. And the other issue sometimes is that we got guys that play football. So
Mhm.
I with those guys, they're good enough that we may miss them for like one or two tournaments, but they'll still be available for the majority of the fall because we usually do seven tournaments in the summer and five in the fall.
Okay.
So I think we actually end the week before Halloween or something like that. So yeah,
Yeah,
so yeah,
usually
it's,
yeah around that time, right before November gets here.
yeah.
Um,
But
so
usually fall ball's a little lighter. We only have like one practice a week versus like two or three. Just because of field availability between football, soccer, and all that. So yeah,
it can get difficult at times.
it can.
Absolutely. Just want to remind everybody you can hit us up on the phone line at 669-275-0548. Or of course, you can also hit us on our text line at 484-6060661. I said that wrong. I say it wrong every week because
It's a- it
I
sounds
don't
like
say it wrong on purpose. You
it's
can
a,
hit us on our text line at 484-606-6061. No, I said it correctly.
you
I
did
did.
it. You did say it right. It was in a nice little rhythmic pattern, like one of those '80s
It's
commercials.
it just feels wrong when I say it. Something about it just feels incorrect.
When you said it the last time, it actually sounded dirty.
Okay.
Because it was like cause 6060 like it was the way you said it. I was like, I feel dirty.
I'll try to keep it clean. Try
you
to keep it
know?
clean for the rest of the show, at least for this episode. Of course, you can always hit us in the chat if you want to ask a question, if you have an opinion. You always hit us in the chat, hit us in the text line, or hit us on our phone line, whatever the case may be. The numbers are right there. Um, let's get into it. Eagles played their first preseason game last week against the Cincinnati Bengals. Um, all things being said, they looked decent. The starters didn't play, at least on the offensive side. The starters that you expect to see, they didn't play. But the Browns are coming to town. Shedure Sanders and the Browns, and Shedore and the Browns had the nationally televised game, I get, if you will, on the for preseason week one. And Shador played like I believe the entire game, Miguel, because all the other quarterbacks are hurt or something like that. So
It's Cleveland.
it's Cleveland. Um, mind you, one of those quarterbacks was drafted ahead of Shador this year.
Mhm.
But we won't get into that. How you feeling about this preseason week two game? What might you be looking for? What might you be expecting to see? And do you even care? Because it's preseason.
You know what it's the championship hangover. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's the same way I felt when we won the first Super Bowl. Not that nothing really mattered, but it's like you're just reliving, the throw in the end zone to Devontae Smith. You're reliving the pick six. You know what I mean? It's just like reliving. Um, at the end of the day, I just all I care about is that nobody gets hurt. You know,
Right.
and you had the Landon Dickerson scare. Thankfully, he'll be probably be ready by week one with a meniscus issue. But you know, I don't know if you had seen, but there was like a heartfelt moment. Because sometimes in the preseason, what they'll do is they'll have like they'll run practices together, the team that they're playing.
Yep.
So I think it was this morning. Jalen Hurts and Shedure Sanders kind of shared a moment after everything was done. They were talking with each other in the sidelines with Big Dom, and he actually,
Tom always knows where to be, don't he?
I'm telling you, man, he's just bam, just there, with his pinky ring and his herringbone chain.
Hmm.
So there was a golf cart there, because that's where how Jalen Hurts came in. He's like, "Hop in, kid." So he wound up driving him over to his practice end of the practice facility, because I think Shedeur actually got hurt. He tweaked his oblique, so they said, "All right, you're done for practice for today." So
He's probably done until Saturday night.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, but as far as like what I'm looking for, I do hope like the offense does play like a series or something. You know what I mean? Just so we can kind of see.
Ain't
But
gonna happen.
I know, but
Ain't gonna happen. I just don't want you to be disappointed the day of it.
I'm
It
not.
just
I don't care about like. I get what I get. Oh my god, I want to see, the sixth round pick. I want to see how he looks and and it's like if they're not in competition to start, it don't matter. You're just literally looking for practice squatters and backup guys to be somewhat halfway decent. But
yeah, yeah, and I agree with you. I mean, I don't put too much stock in the preseason. There was a time when we were seeing our starters in the preseason. And you will watch the game for that quarter or that half. It was what the first game would be a quarter.
mhm.
Second game would be a half. No, the second
Half.
game would be a half, or would it be three quarters?
No, it would be a half. The third game was three quarters, and then the last game was like
Nothing. Maybe a
or
series.
or series. Yeah,
Yeah, maybe a series.
I think you know what. I think we might need to go back to that. At least get to the point where they're playing a half. Only because like when you see the start of the season, like I don't know if it's just me, but it just seems like the first 4 weeks of the season, the games are just so sloppy. You
I would
know?
agree. I would definitely agree with the second part of what you said. The games are sloppy. They don't look as sharp as they do, moving forward. As you can see, like some of the teams that are not as good, like for instance, the Saints last year played. Didn't they blow out the Cow? Now we're talking about the Cowboys, but in the beginning of the year, the Cowboys were at full strength. Didn't they blow out the Cowboys the
Mhm.
week before we played them? The
Yep,
week before we played the Saints.
surely
So
did.
when it's early, you're trying to get things going. You don't know what could happen. I always say, the second week of the NFL season is the hardest week to bet. To wager on. The first week is difficult. The second most difficult, and then the second week is the most difficult. But because you don't know if what you saw in week one is fool's gold or not. But anyway, I still want to see the defense. Um, I'm interested in seeing how the defense looks. Again, just like we said a couple weeks ago, I want to see what that secondary looks like. Vic Fangio is going to have his guys out there getting reps, especially young guys, because he wants to see what the young guys have. Um, that's really pretty much all. I'm not interested in seeing anybody get hurt. Of course, I'm not interested in seeing anybody get hurt, but I'm not interested in seeing starters be in there with the opportunity to get hurt. And I think Miguel, as this has become more and more of a business, I think you're probably going to see your better teams more so do, your offense is not going to be in the game. Like I don't think Patrick Mahomes plays preseason. I don't think Tom Brady definitely didn't play preseason that, after a certain point in his career.
Mhm.
Um so, I would hate for my starting quarterback or any of my starters to get hurt going up against somebody that's trying to make a team, trying to make a point.
You
If
know
they're
what's
trying to
fun?
please themselves.
You know what's funny though? Like I understand that's the fear of getting hurt, but when we look back at the history of time, how many injuries have actually happened in preseason?
You talking about like to the quarterback?
Right, to the quarterback or even anybody on offense. Because like I know that's always a concern, but I don't recall like a lot of guys getting hurt in the preseason per se.
It didn't happen a lot, but you never want it to happen. You don't want to be that time,
Yeah, but
especially when you have high expectations.
it seems like all the injuries happen first couple weeks of the season or at practice. You know,
Yeah, we've definitely seen that. We've
CJG
definitely
ACL in practice. You know,
the argument to that would be, and it sounds so stupid to say, but I'm about to say it. The argument with that would be, well, let's say you got hurt in the first couple weeks of the season. You got
Mhm.
hurt when it mattered, as opposed to getting hurt when it didn't. That's the only argument, really. That's it. You got hurt when it mattered. Now you get hurt when it doesn't matter. You don't know what it's going to be like when it matters because you're not there to participate.
Right.
I'll just leave it at that. I mean, that's the best I can do. That's the best I can do. If you keep seeing me look away, it's because I'm a big fan of the Little League World Series tournament, and I just keep looking to see what's going on. Them kids can play.
Are you
Um,
betting?
no, can you bet on that?
I don't know. I hope not, but I
I'll be honest. I haven't wagered. You know when the last time I wagered on like online betting was I think it was I think it was the bubble NBA championship, NBA finals. Um and I won a lot of money not because I bet on the Lakers to win. I actually bet on the Miami Heat to win. And what happened was that Miami Heat won a game or won a game or two, and they ended up offering me more money than I bet. They bought my bet back from me for more money. So I sold my bet back. So I was like, cool, I'll take it. I win. That's a win for me. I knew Miami wasn't going to win, but it's probably their algorithm. So I took advantage. But after that, I put money on Jimmy Butler to score. He had to score like 22 points. He was at the foul line and scored 21 and missed the shot. And that was the last time I bet. That was the last time I said, no, I don't like it. I don't like it. Like it was a shooting. Like the day before he went off.
mhm,
And I was like, 22, he's going to score that easy. He'll score that in his sleep.
mhm. You know how that happens. You have a big day, then you tend to like have a clunker after.
And he, 21 instead of 22.
So
And
it's
he
funny.
got
It's funny. I did a quick search on can you bet on Little League baseball, and AI brought back betting on the Little League World Series is generally not permitted uh, by licensed U.S. based sports books due to ethical concerns regarding youth sports. Da 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 da. However, there are some offshore and unregulated sports books that may offer betting lines on the Little League World Series, even though this practice is strongly condemned.
I can believe it. I feel like a few years ago you were able to bet on the little league games. And then they kind of stepped in and was like, nah, that ain't right. I feel like a few years because I feel like I was about to one time. I, but I didn't. But I didn't.
He's like
Um,
that little Corey Kaiser from Kansas is
he hits
he
nukes.
hits nukes.
um, the Phillies, they just had a 4-game winning streak broken just yesterday by losing. They were playing earlier today. I didn't catch the final if it's
They
over
lost. They lost 6-1, I think.
today.
Yeah.
They lost 6-1 yesterday too.
Let me not lie to you.
Oh, stop lying, Miguel. So we're doing this live on air. We're going to look up and see what the Phillies did.
Oh no,
Um,
they're I'm sorry, they're losing 8-0 right now.
yes, they are top of the eighth inning. So I really wanted to. come on here talking about how well they had been playing and how impressive they looked and how I felt like maybe they had turned that corner. It's not feeling like it now from yesterday and today. It's not feeling like it. And I'm going to explain why, but I'm going to let you have a chance to comment. I'm going to explain why. But go ahead. What are your thoughts on the Phillies right now?
We're getting ready for the final push. It's dog days of summer, yada yada yada. I mean, Phillies right now are 5 up on the Mets for the National League East. So we're in a good spot, but we can't, you know, the one big concern I have, and I think we missed an opportunity to trade Ranger Suarez. Love him to death, but I saw a stat. Let me see if I actually, yeah, there it is. Matter of fact, let me put this up on the screen if I can. But he has some splits that are kind of, I don't know, weird. Um, oh, I got to do it this way. That blows. All right, so I'll just read it. No, because I was trying to upload a picture and it's not letting me. I'll do it this way. I'll share my screen and I'll do it that way. Okay. So if you want to post that real quick from 23, 24, and 25, his first half versus second half. In 2023, his first half ERA was 3.7, second half was 4.5. In 24, first half was 2.7, second half was 5.65. This year, hell of a first half, 2.15 ERA, but it's his ERA is almost 7 in the second half. So it's like it feels like this is what he might be. It's the same thing. It's the same argument with Aaron Nola that I have, right?
Mhm.
You know what you get with him in the first part of the season, middle of the season when it gets hot, but the minute the temperature gets below like 70 or 60 degrees, he's not a good pitcher. With Suarez, I think over time he might be a good long reliever. You know what I mean? Because I think he wears down a little too early in the second half.
You think him starting is putting too many innings on the arm?
Right, and again, it's one thing if it was 23 and then 24 things got a little bit better, and then 25 then he becomes the stud. But it's like it's progressively getting worse in his second halves. And that's the
And
part
and
that's
and,
like,
and just to add to what you were saying, do you remember last year? Do you remember they actually purposely threw him more innings
mhm,
early,
right,
and he wore down tremendously in the second half.
right.
Tremendously,
But
he
and,
yeah,
but even this year he started off on the IL, didn't he?
he did. So we have not have our had our full
Rotation.
for our full rotation, our full starting rotation at all this year. So this is something to look at and just keep an eye on. Speaking of which, Aaron Nola had from what I'm heard had a good rehab outing where he had like 11 strikeouts. There was nothing said about his velocity or anything like that, but he threw. At some point he threw 45 pitches and 38 of them were strikes or something like that.
Yeah.
So sounds like he's hitting locate. I'm hoping he's hitting locations. Hope he's not trying to not throw strikes and he's throwing it over the plate. But sounds like things are doing okay for him. So we have to keep an eye on that. What I was going to say to you earlier about how the Phillies, how it always feels like the Phillies are, they're hot and cold. Um, when you think about a championship team, right? I only have one Philadelphia championship team to compare all Philadelphia baseball championship teams to, and that's the '08 Phillies, right?
Mhm,
That Phillies team didn't go hot, cold, hot, cold. If they had a bad game, they would come. You could almost bet the next night they were coming back bats on fire.
mhm.
You can almost bet there might have been 2-3 games in a row, maybe once or twice during that season where they were just cold, but it didn't last long at all. So when you think of that team, and that for me, that's the championship comparison I have, and I think of this team as a championship team. The comparison is not there. I don't feel that these guys are prepared to go for that deep run the way the '08 team was, right? These are totally different teams. I get it. Totally different teams. There's more than one way to skin a cat. I get it. But it just, when that's the comparison, it's hard to see. I have two comparisons for Eagles championship teams, right? I have two. So, I can see different things happening different ways. But I have one baseball champion to compare to because other teams I did not see.
Mhm.
I did not see during the season. I saw the Phillies during the season.
Right. And the biggest thing that the Phillies had then in '08 versus the 22 team that went to the World Series and this year's team had a closer.
Yes.
They had a closer. So that's why, like, when you see them get Duran and best closer, arguably the best closer in baseball, it's like now you finally have the back end bullpen that you were trying to get last year with Carlos Estevez and all the other guys. It's like that's the one thing you can't go cheap on, and they did it. I get who they gave up. I'm cool with it. Um, so that's kind of the saving grace because you pretty much are going to need three pitchers, maybe four, for your playoff run. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yep.
And I guess you can say Aaron Nola's coming back at the perfect time. Maybe it's better this way that he's not pitching, a whole bunch of innings and stuff like that. And I have a feeling that if they do make a deep run, maybe Suarez is like kind of the odd man out. Because I mean, what you got, Lazardo, you have Wheeler, and then you have Sanchez. If you're rotating between those three, it's really going to come down to a fourth pitcher, Nola when he gets back, and then Suarez.
There was some talk about maybe Lazardo might be the
What?
guy that goes to the bullpen.
It might not be a bad idea, because his starts like he's starting to. I think he's starting to turn a corner, but he's still susceptible to tipping his pitches, which is the issue that he's been having.
Mhm.
Because I think his last start he went like 6 1/3, like 7 Ks, so he looked like the old Lazardo. But then the start right before that, he didn't get out of the third inning. So it's like, you know, it's gonna take some, hey, stop doing that. You know what I mean? But
Right.
I think I would probably have Suarez in the bullpen for the simple fact that he's been there, done that.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like you have the experience there, just keep that there. If he's your long man to get you to Duran or your setup guys like Strom and everything like that, let that be. You know what I mean? Because you're gonna need them. I don't know. I feel better about the pitching staff than I have even in 22. Because 22, again, we didn't have a closer. It was pretty much by committee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alvarado was the guy doing most of the closing in 22. Am I correct? Or was that
No,
23?
he was the setup he was the setup man, and they've been trying to get him to close, but he's not good in that situation. He's the guy that like he's the stopgap guy. He sees the leak and stops it, but they tried to put him in that closer role, and he throws too many pitches for that.
Gotcha. Yeah.
He throws way too
That's
he
what
throws hard, but he throws a lot of pitches.
a little bit of controversy with this most recent series for the Phillies. I'll pull the thing up. Actually, I guess we don't really need to pull it up, but Phillies fans are saying that the Cincinnati Reds are tampering with their soon-to-be free agent Kyle Schwarber. Do you want to talk about it, Miguel, or shall I?
I think that this story is being blown out of being blown out of proportion by millennials from South Jersey with their avocado toast. and their creme brulee teas from Dunkin' Donuts.
Hey, look here, man. I've heard avocado. I've never had it, but I've heard it's pretty good. I
Whatever.
I just found out, like, I just thought avocado toast was like toast with avocado on it. Like I didn't know it was like a whole thing. I think there's like eggs involved or something.
Yeah, I think it was created by a communist. So the story goes. So Kyle Schwarber, Mr. Schwarbomber,
Before we go into that, I've been meaning to ask you for like the last month.
mhm.
Do you still want to trade him? I mean, we can't now, but I guess being the fact that he's a free agent, did you like? I know that was part of it for you.
So it was, and I want to resign him now because he did the things and made the adjustments to be better. You know what I mean? He's hitting way over 200. He's in the 250s, 260s. That's what I was looking for. That's all I was looking for. But again, with Aaron Nola, you know what you're getting with this dude. They should have been traded. I hope they trade him in the offseason. I think you can still get something good for him. At the end of the day, anybody that you want to trade, it has to be like a good commodity. You got to give up something. So it's like I almost feel like they kind of missed the boat. But I would look to try to resign Schwarber since again he's a DH. He can if that's his concentration, just let that be his concentration. Um, and then go get yourself a center fielder or see what Justin Crawford can do.
Yeah, I figure he's coming up. But this story about the Reds tampering with the Kyle Schwarber. Go ahead. I didn't want to interrupt, but I had to.
So the Reds were honoring Kyle Schwarber's father, Greg, and an All Stars. He was his former youth coach. There was a former youth coach of Schwarber's named Ron Groh. Because I believe that he grew up about like 30 minutes north of Cincinnati. That's where Schwarber's from. So nice, heartfelt moment. The Reds set it up. Um, so Greg and Schwarber's father threw out the first pitch. Schwarber caught the ball. It was a nice, moment. So Phillies fans, took to X or Twitter or whatever they call it now, um, saying that yeah, sweet moment, but they're trying to go after him because actually Schwarber did say that if he doesn't sign with the Phillies, he'd probably go back to Cincinnati, which makes sense. You want to finish your career where you started, blah 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 blah.
Mhm.
So they're thinking that it's tampering. So they got to do something. It's like stop.
So here's what I'll say. It's not tampering,
Yeah.
but it's not tampering.
Right.
Right. I
Especially
don't think they're tampering, but I think they're kind of like reminding you, like, yeah, don't forget we're here.
right. Don't forget where you're from. Remember your father's from here. Remember your youth coach.
Don't forget
Yeah.
about that time we had you catch the ball from your father right down here on at the field at the Great American Ballpark. Don't forget that happened.
Right.
That can only happen here. Did Philadelphia fly your father out? They may have. I don't
I,
know.
I know it's like
I really don't know. I don't know. But it's not tampering, but it's
right.
not tampering. I'll just say that.
It,
Um,
it's like when oh, what did the Phillies do? I think there was an All Star game like 2 years ago, and I can't remember. It was an All Star game somewhere out in the West Coast. It might have been the Colorado one. Um, oh, Luis Soto. I remember a couple years ago, well, the year that Soto was going to become a free agent, and I think the Phillies were getting ready to go out to San Diego after that All Star break, and he was still playing for San Diego at the time. So the Phillies were like, "Hey, come jump on our corporate plane. We'll take you back."
oh
Remember
yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah. I
And I
remember.
think there was this big outcry. Oh, he's going to sign with Philly for tampering. And then he winds up signing with the Yankees later. So,
I do remember that. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, like I get what you said. Yeah, so I get what you're saying. It's not tampering, but it's not tampering.
It's
So that
not
makes sense.
not tampering.
That makes sense.
It's not purposeful tampering, but they know what they're doing.
They know
They
what they're
had it.
doing.
They probably had it planned for months. You know, when they come to town, we're gonna do this. You know, blah blah
It's
blah
like
blah.
the legal. What is that legal holiday for the NFL? The legal tampering day,
The legal tampering period. Yeah,
the legal tampering period, where you can't talk to players, but everybody talks to players.
right. What? You know, yeah. Um. So announced this week or over the weekend or maybe something. There had been talk about it, but I guess the official announcement happened over the weekend or last week, whatever the case may be. The UFC announces that they're going to have an event at the White House. Donald Trump had said that he wanted to have a UFC event on the White House lawn, wants to invite 20,000 people to come watch. He's a big fan of the UFC. He's at a lot of the fights. Um, and they make a point to make sure that you know that he's there. I don't really so it's it's not a big deal to me from the excitement standpoint of they're going to have this like how they had a national a baseball game on like a little league field. You know what I'm saying? Not a little league field, but they had the in Williamsport the teams go out there and play a game in front of the little leaguers and
I
all that.
like. I actually like that was a great
I
thing.
like
Even
that.
it was great.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This I don't like for a totally different reason, Miguel.
Mm.
Um, and I can only the best way I can kind of compare it or give my feelings on it is the movie Django Unchained. It was a movie, it's Quentin Tarantino movie. Samuel L. Jackson was in it. Jamie Foxx. Um, what's my man name? DiCaprio was in
Yeah,
it.
bro.
There's a lot of people in it. Um, Django Unchained, for those that, well, if you haven't seen it, you check it out, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. But it deals with a slavery time period here in the United States. And one of the scene where there's some scenes in the movie where DiCaprio plays an owner, and
Say it right. A slave owner.
a slave owner. Excuse me. Yeah, thank you. He plays a slave owner, a captive person owner. You know what I'm saying? These people aren't slaves. They were. Never mind. Let me not.
Don't don't do it.
Let me just keep it simple for those in the back. Okay. He's playing a slave owner, and there's another slave owner. They come together and they have their biggest um their biggest best fighters fight each other. I guess to the death. Okay. And this just has that feeling to me where we're going to bring this same type of fighting. It's not a boxing match. Like if it was a tennis match, if it were a baseball, and I know a baseball game can't happen there, but it was like a baseball game, tennis match. Um, even what's the thing called, Miguel, where they throw the bean bags and cornhole. Even if it was a
Cornhole.
cornhole, but like this, having two people fighting UFC MMA style on a White House lawn, it just gives me that I won't be watching it. I can't support it. I personally can't support it. Miguel, do you have any thoughts on it, one way or another?
I, I mean, it, speaking to the thought of that scene in the movie, there were things I was reading up about, like how scenes are put together in movies, and there was something that I read that they even had those type of fights at the White House. Of course, this was like around the time of Washington and Jefferson and stuff like that. Or even, it was after that, but like before the turn of the 19th century, because there were some plantation owners that worked in the White House. So it's like you can get away with that kind of stuff back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, So I can see where you're coming from with that type of, and it's funny because not to get into anything political, but it just seems like, read the room. Like, how can you not see what that even could remotely represent? You know what I mean? But
They
you
don't care.
know when it's but it's this is coming off the heels of the UFC finalizing a 7-year streaming deal with Paramount that's valued at $1.1 billion a year. So anything for entertainment purposes. And it's funny because when I was reading up on it, I contacted my buddy who is DCPD,
Hmm.
and I was like, "Yo, you think if you work the White House, you can get me and my buddy in so we can watch?" You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
but no, I feel where you're coming from, and I can only imagine what type of spectacle this is going to be.
yeah,
Or it could be a
yeah,
huge embarrassing failure. Or it can be a huge embarrassing failure.
that could happen. And what I failed to mention was that it will be on the day of the 250th birthday of the United States. So that is like the big reason for this. That it's going this 250th birthday of the United States. Donald Trump wanted this to happen, and
Wow.
it's getting ready to happen.
So you want to celebrate 250 years by having a slave fight on the front lawn. Got it. Done.
Now, yeah, you see how
Now, oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm
that's
bored.
the part I didn't hit.
I'm
That's the
boycotting like a mofo.
that's the part I didn't hit, and I apologize. That's the part I didn't hit right there.
Wow. Oh, I got
Yeah,
you.
exactly. Let's turn to something. Let's shift gears a little bit. All right, something that we've probably never talked about on this show. We don't talk about it too. We actually don't talk college football much on this show at all, outside of like the playoffs and rankings and things like that. Unless there's a good story. But there's a new era in Temple football, which of course, for those that may not know, is North Broad Street, North Philly, Temple University, Philadelphia. Um, and I bring this up because there is a kid that I coached that has gotten a full ride to play football at Temple University. So shout out to Adriano McLean. Congratulations to you. Hope you do well. Um, but as I was looking at it and I was reading it and I kept seeing the name of the coach, Casey Keeler, Casey Keeler, Casey Keeler. It kept standing out to me like, why do I know this name? Why do I know this name? Why is this like name so familiar to me? Casey Keeler is a coach who has had a lot of success in football, in college football. He's won two national championships at the Division 1A level. And let me see, were they both at the Division 1A level? Yes, they were both at the Division 1A level. Well, one double A, excuse me, one double A. One at University of Delaware, one at Sam Houston State. And so let me explain that a little bit as well. So now they don't usually say double A now, single A, double A. Now they say FBS and FCS. So double A would be your FBS schools now. Anyway, back to it. He's won two national titles, but he has been in the running for a national title. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 years out of his 17 out of his 20, 30. I'm trying to do quick math. 31. This will be his 32nd season as a head coach. 17 out of his 31 seasons, so just about 50% of his seasons he's in the running for a national title. Do I expect that to happen at Temple? Not exactly, but he has the pedigree of doing what needs to be done to get games won to have your program looking good. Miguel, you are a Philadelphia native. Do you ever keep up with Temple football? Does this excite you that Casey Killer is now coaching at Temple and may bring the program back to some type of
I
prominence?
I'm excited about it because you haven't really had this much excitement since you had what's his name, Rule.
Yeah.
Um
Mhm.
and then and it was kind of predicted that, he was going to bolt for some Big 10 or big Division 1 school, and that's when he went to Baylor. Actually, he went to Baylor and then he went to the Panthers, right? As their head coach for a
Yes.
couple of years.
Yes, he did.
So I met him at a Drexel Sports thing that we were having, and I just remember him being very sweaty and very like jumpy, and but when he was talking football, he sounded like a pro. But yeah, I'm excited that somebody that's credible, that has a winning culture pedigree, can try to get Temple back to even that era. You know what I mean? Because it's sad to watch. When you drive by the link on a Temple Saturday, and it's like a tenth full. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I still would love to see them get like their own facility, but I know that like doing that in the city is probably out the question. But
Yeah, it'd be very difficult for that to happen. It would be nice for them to have their own facility like they do for basketball.
right,
They were able to do that.
right.
Um,
But yeah,
I,
I'm excited about it.
I'm just thinking about the last time I went to a Temple football game.
Mhm.
They were still in the A10. So was Miami, and it was a game where Warren Sapp was playing for Miami.
Oh boy.
So it was that long ago. I remember a friend of mine. I think a friend of mine was in the Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, or something, and
Mm.
he had got some tickets, and I lived down the street from him. He asked me if I wanted to go, so I went. I remember that. I don't know how I remember that, but I remember that. I wonder if The Rock played for Miami at that time.
So he played when he sacked Charlie Ward and ended his football career. I think that was 95, 94, 95, 96. It was around that at that time.
Mm, I don't remember. I don't remember when I went, so I don't
Got
know.
it.
But uh, but yeah, shout out to Temple. They're gonna be interesting to watch this year. I have a little more thought into it. A little bit more investment into it because the kid I coach is now on the team. I don't know if he'll be playing this year or redshirt or whatever the case may be, but he's on the team. So, and he's getting his education paid for. So, congratulations to him. That is the goal when you play sports: get the education paid for. Um, Quick note: 76ers have revealed that their throwback jerseys will be from the Allen Iverson era. I think it was Miguel's favorite Sixers jersey. Correct?
Yep. I love the black. So their homes were the white ones, and then the roads were the black ones, and then they had the third jersey, the blue ones, which I really liked too.
I loved the blue ones.
The blue ones were
I
nice.
loved the blue ones. I really did. um, I'm sorry. I was trying to. Am I putting that? Where am I put you? I see you pushing stuff up there, so I'm just kind of. I didn't know if I was getting ready to put something in right now or not. But just my thoughts on the. I call them the Men in Black uniforms because I always wanted, like, if they were coming down like on a fast break or something like that, I always wanted the announcer to say, "Here come the Men in Black," but he never
Right.
did. They never said that, so I always wanted to say, "Here come the Men in Black." I guess maybe that would be weird, but um,
Yeah, I was
I
trying to
guess it was
show.
at the time when that movie was it was big. So if I was a PA announcer or if I was the commentator, I would have said that. That probably would have been my thing. Here come the Men in Black. All right, yeah, I'm
He
part
got men in black.
of it. Here come the Men in Black. All right, so real quick, yo, this little league game is crazy. I got a phone call and a text to tell me that this game is crazy. I got it on. It's a 1-0 game. It's Connecticut and Texas. A 1-0 game, and it, it's 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 a good game. From what I can see, it's a good game. Both these teams are good. If these aren't the best two teams, if these are not the best two teams, we're in for a heck of a tournament on the American side. And I just tell you, I just put it to you like that. Maybe it's the pitching, you know how these games are sometimes. Maybe it's the pitching, but the game started with a web gem. First play of the game was a web gem. So
Noise.
I'll just put it to you like that. Um, so this week Miguel has some videos he put together. Not he put together, but he found that he said we're going to be talking about these on the show. We're going to put these together. So um, that's what we're going to do. So for those that may not know, that might be new to the show, first of all, thank you, welcome, and make sure you hit the subscribe or the like button and share us with your friends and your family. What happens is Miguel finds some videos, or maybe I'll find a video or something like that, and we get a laugh out of them, or we get a shock or a surprise out of them, and we just want to share them with you, with our viewing audience, because we want you guys to have the same laugh that we did. So Miguel, what do we have first on the agenda?
Okay, so I want you to hit play and pause real quick, and then I want you to guess what's about to happen.
Well, okay, I'm gonna try, but this thing kind of delays real quick, so I'm gonna try.
Pause, pause, pause. Okay. Oh,
Okay,
it's just gonna go all the way through. Let me see.
I can't see what's happening, so
You can't see it.
it's very very tiny on my end, so I can't really tell what's happening.
Okay.
But what I saw was a guy running down the basketball court, which I'm going to assume is like one of the people that hit the trampoline thing and does a dunk or something. That's what I'm assuming.
Yes.
And my guess is, since you put this video in here, I'm going to go away from my original thought.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to go away. My original thought was this guy gets jacked up somehow, some way. Okay,
Okay.
that was my original thought, but I think you might be trying to trick me.
Okay.
I think this guy might be like a gymnast, and he does like some type of in the air and dunks the ball.
Okay.
All right,
Let's go for
I'm
it.
probably so wrong, ain't I? Let's see what we got. Whoa. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait. Can you
So
press play on that? Like, how do I? That happened so fast.
I know.
If you can, I'll remove it. And you want me to do that?
I'll remove it. I'll put it back up.
That's not supposed to happen.
Right. So apparently it was it was rehearsal.
They had the trampoline wound up a little too tight. Had a little too tight. So my man bounced off the trampoline into the backboard. So let's see this one more time. Let's see. Woo. And there's a microphone up there too. So
You heard the you heard the feedback.
that was woo wee. I hope he was okay.
I'm sure he lived to tell the story and is living with that embarrassment.
I'm glad those safety pads or whatever they might be called. I'm glad they were there.
Right.
What do we have next?
This is, I'll just simply label it a lovely, quick father-daughter moment.
I'm just letting it play.
Just let it play.
Cuz running by faith, not sight. Jerpain Poe, University of North Dakota, go Hawks.
Hold on. Let me just hold on. Don't take that. Hold on. Oh, it didn't start over. Okay, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
I'll put it back up.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
No, we'll do it. It's funny.
Okay. All right.
There you
Cuz running by faith, not sight. Jerpain Poe, University of North Dakota, go Hawks.
It's the laugh. It's the laugh.
It's the last.
It's the laugh when he started laughing, man. Oh, that looked painful. That looked
You
very
heard, you heard the pain?
yes. So the Little League game has ended where Connecticut beat Texas 1-0. The
Hmm.
Connecticut team had 3 hits. The Texas team had 1 hit and also had 1 error.
Wow.
So
Okay.
interesting game. It was a good game. Um, was that was that all for the videos?
No.
We got more.
Um, let's see. Okay, here's one from. So this is a pro summer league minor league thing. A random fan was called up to help out a team that was losing, and this fan wound up doing this.
This is our lucky fan that gets to take an at bat tonight, Dixie. We appreciate the heck out of you. So Dixie for Jamie McGraw, question mark? Wow. If he makes it that far. The 2-2, low and away, ball 3. Payoff pitch, high fly ball, left center field. Are you kidding me? 4 letters, 1 word, I'm standing here watching the replay because I still can't effing believe that happened.
He smoked that ball.
He did.
Now, you and I as coaches, we could say he's obviously, if he played, he's not. I mean, maybe he's a random fan, but he's not somebody that got lucky and hit a home run. That he's played before.
Oh, definitely.
You would agree with me, right?
Absolutely.
He definitely played before. So it makes me think about something though, Miguel. This random fan comes out and hits a home run like that. Does all that celebrating and everything. Did all that celebrating before they at bat? Did all the celebrating after hitting the home run? If you're the pitcher, Miguel, are you putting one in the next guy's ear hole?
Absolutely.
Next guy got to pay for that, huh?
Absolutely. Right in the chin.
Some sweet chin music. I can dig it. Man. Man. Okay. All right. All right, you have another video?
Yeah, this is I can't, there's no other way to say it, unlucky umpire.
Uh-oh. I feel like I think I know where this is going, but okay.
Everybody walk away for a minute.
Stay alive, Ryan. Good job, bud.
Ryan. Cam, just go for a walk. Just go for a walk.
Step to the fence.
I'm not going to watch that again. Oh my goodness. So if I'm telling you right now, if I'm an umpire, I'm going back to the old school shield, the big old shield thing.
Yeah.
Ain't no way I'm give me the shield. First of all, I'm never going to umpire because that's too difficult to do. Not scared of difficult things, but I would probably just watch the game and forget to make a call.
Right.
But sheesh, what you got next?
This is a verbal thing. Nothing. There's no action. It's just listening to commentary. I think sometimes we just have to watch what we say and how we say it, and obviously they did neither in this particular clip.
All right, let's check it out.
Man, they are stretching Kikuchi tonight.
So the pitcher's name is Kai Kikuchi. That's the actual pitcher's name.
Yeah, I kind of figured that. But yeah, sometimes sometimes you gotta be careful of some of the terminology you're going to use in certain situations.
And speaking of watching what you say, here's a gem from John Kruk.
Oh boy, oh I know this is going to be good. All right, here we go.
Oh, we got a piece of Marchand.
You know what I found out at the Franklin Institute?
You went to the Franklin Institute?
I did.
Oh, watching this.
25 pounds of pressure if someone is attacking you, and you can rip their ear off. They said it's the same amount of pressure to open up a pickle jar, and you can just rip their ear off.
Swing and a miss. He's down on strikes. All right, so
Well,
how would you do it?
Kira's going to be a nurse, and they had a body thing where they had
Went through the heart and everything?
all the heart, the livers, kidneys, and what are they called? Dead people that they take the skin off and whatever. But
Icky.
it was all that. Yeah, it was very disgusting, some of it. But she was explaining it all to us, and then we got to that one where you can rip someone's ear off. If you can open up a pickle jar, you can rip their ear off.
Huh.
So I was watching the game when he said that. I believe that was not this past weekend, but the previous weekend. I believe it was. Yeah, I was watching it, and I when he said it, I said, "Is that something he should be saying on TV?" But you kind of say that a lot with John Kruk. Like you just kind of say that. Like, should he be saying that on TV? Probably not.
Right.
But yeah, I thought that was the weirdest. That was probably the weirdest conversation I've ever heard in a sports on a sports broadcast.
I would challenge that when I think it was like a year or two ago when he's like, "Hey Scott, when you and I get married," when he made
That was this year.
That was this year. Okay.
That was this year, I believe. Yeah. That was a weird conversation too. You're absolutely right. That was a very weird conversation as well.
Yeah.
All right, I think you have another one.
Yeah, this will be the last one. I'll have a video for us to actually close out the show, but this will be the last one for the regular show. Quite simply, this is damn.
So before we have the closeout video, it's not going to get us dinged again, is it? Like the last one did.
No, because it's not wrestling related. We will not be using Iron Sheik Baba.
All right, here we go.
And I know you want to see it again, or you want to hear it actually.
It don't matter.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out what the purpose of that girl was to put the mat in front and then pull it back out real quick. The hell was the point of that?
That's a good question. I was kind of wondering the same thing. Like, what was she? Did she do what she was supposed to do? Or, I have no idea. I have no idea. But yeah, that was yeah. Oops. All right, here we go. Let me I can't get this. And you're going to be stumping me today.
That is correct.
But before we get to that, I'm trying to get this doggone thing over here so I can see the chat because we have some chats in here.
Mm-hmm.
And this doggone thing won't go away. All right, I'll get. Let me see. Let me see if I can get to these. I don't know why.
What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to put up some of the chats, but I can't get to it. It's okay. So you'll be stumping me today. And last week you got, or a couple weeks ago, when we had our last show, you got me, and there was a guy that I'd never heard of, so I'd have never said the name. So
I'm surprised you
hopefully
didn't
I have
know.
a chance.
Huh?
So hopefully this week I have a chance.
Yeah, it's actually closer in the decades that you're familiar with.
Okay. Who is it?
Exactly. Oh, let me hit the. Did I not share? Oh,
You did, but then you took it away.
my bad. There it is.
All right, here we go.
So right off the bat, the first three numbers are from one team.
The Phillies.
Yes.
And then what we have after that? Is that the Cubs?
No,
Rays?
that would be the Kansas City Royals,
Royals, Athletics, Nationals, Royals again?
Dodgers. No, yeah, Dodgers.
Royals, Athletics, Nationals, and Dodgers. Two-time World Series champion. Was one of those World Series with the Phillies.
Yes.
Two-time World Series champion. So was are these jerseys in like the order of his career?
I
Like, did he
want
play for
to.
the
I
Phillies
want to.
first and then play for the Dodgers last?
Yes.
Play for the Phillies first, Dodgers last. So it could be somebody that was like young with the Phillies and won the World Series, and then won the World Series with the Dodgers at towards the end.
So one of the clues I'll give you is that he was on the Phillies for a long time.
Milt Thompson did not win the World Series with the Phillies.
That is correct.
On the Phillies for a long time. And played for the Athletics, played for the Dodgers, played for the Royals, the Nationals. Played for the Phillies for a long time. No, Mike Lieberthal did not win the World Series with the Phillies.
Mm-mm.
When you say a long time, you're talking about the big club for a long time, or he was in the organization for a long time?
Big club, long time. Sounded racist. Yeah, he was on the big club for a long time.
Oh man, you got me with this one. Let me. Can you give me the position? Would that give it away?
He was a pitcher.
He was a pitcher.
Sad thing about when you mentioned Lieberthal, um, he was called up and played for the Phillies in '94, 1 year after they went to the World Series. And his last year in Philadelphia was in 2007, the year before we won the World Series.
How about that? And played his entire career with the Phillies, right?
No, his so in 2008 and 2009 he was on the Dodgers because he's from California. So he died. I think he played maybe 1.5 seasons with the Dodgers.
So this guy was a pitcher. He played for the Phillies and had 3 numbers. Played for them for a long time. Went to the Royals. Went to the Athletics. Went to the Nationals. Then went to the Dodgers. Was he a prominent pitcher for like? Was he one of? Could we count on this guy, or was he just a?
You can count on him.
But he wasn't a starter, right?
He started out his career as a starter, but the majority of his career was as a reliever. That's where he found his most success.
It wasn't not Brent Myers, is it?
No, sir. I try to avoid wife beaters on the show.
I have no idea what Brett Myers did after the Phillies. Um,
Beat his wife.
um, whew, man, I feel like I should know this one. I'm struggling. I'm really struggling.
I'll give you 2 more guesses.
I'm really struggling on this one. The played for the Phillies for a long time. What was his first year with the Phillies?
I want to say very early 2000s.
Very early 2000s. See, and that, you know what hurts me there? I was living in Maryland at the time, so I wasn't really able to follow them until I came back.
No excuse.
No, no, no. It's not an excuse. It's just that that era, that kind of 4 or 5 years there is kind of blurry
Gotcha.
because that was also between Veteran Stadium and the new stadium, the Jim Tomei and all like that.
Gotcha.
So it's just a little blurry.
So I'll throw a bone.
Please do.
His second World Series that he won was with the Kansas City Royals.
And you know what? That should help, but I feel like that might have been the one year that I really did not pay attention to the World Series.
Okay.
Who were they playing that year? They played the Cubs that year?
No, so in 2015, that's when he won with the Royals. They were playing the Giants. No, they won that year. So that was the Mets. They played the Mets that year.
Pitcher. Who was a pitcher? You got me on this one. I'm not gonna waste a whole lot of time. You got me on this one, and I'm gonna be mad because I feel like I should know it.
Okay, so he was a reliever. Well, he started out as a starter, but he found success as a reliever, and he was the bridge a lot of times between our starting pitchers and Brad Lidge. He would be one
Madsen?
Ryan Madsen.
Ryan Madsen. Doggone it. And you know what's crazy? So I don't know how. I know he was around for a while, but I just don't know. So if you said it was like 2000, so that part of it is a little. That's where it's a little blurry for me
Hmm. Yeah,
because I
because
remember him coaching like '05.
he came up as a starter, but they he was pretty much getting handled the second and third time through the lineup. And then I think he went down very briefly to fix something with his mechanics. And
Mhm.
then they figured, let's do him in relief. And it's like, well, he can throw 1 to maybe 3 innings. And then that was it. He was the stopgap.
Two things I don't remember is him playing for the Nationals or the A's.
Same here.
I do not remember that. I
Yeah.
feel like I should remember him playing for the Nationals.
I remember him when he was on the Dodgers because he was on when the Dodgers went to the World Series and lost.
Yes, I remember that.
Because he had another good series there. That was like his last like hurrah, and then after that, it was the end of his career. So
Mm, 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 mm. So I'll give this one to you. I guess you stumped me again. I got it right at the very end when you kind of basically gave it up. I mean,
right,
that's not what you were trying to do, but you were saying the answer. So you
yeah,
got
but
me
you lost.
again. You
Yeah,
got me.
that's three in a row, man. You're on a three game losing streak.
Getting me, man. I should have got that one. I should have got that one. That's a good one. That's a good one. Well, look, we're going to get up out of here. We appreciate y'all hanging with us here on the Check Swing Podcast with myself and, of course, the brains and brawn of the situation, Coach Miguel over there. We're going to holler at y'all next week. Probably. I have to look at my schedule and see how things line up because things are starting to happen now. Things are starting to cook. So, what we'll do is we'll leave you with this video as we get ready to get up out of here, and we'll talk to y'all next time. Just stay tuned to our Instagram and our just stay tuned to our Instagram to see what's happening. All right. We appreciate y'all. Peace.
You guys kept throwing around the term like alpha males in your locker room and within your team. Is that a thing, or can you elaborate a little bit more on that and what that means?
This is a quick. Would you rather date if you were in let's see, I'm gonna do an animal example. If you were in a tiger, would you want to date a cat? No. You don't want to date a cat. You wouldn't want to. Well, of course, it's tiger. The cat. It's a bigger version of it. It's the cat. You know, it's all around the stuff. But you don't want to date a cat, though. Not something we bring. Nah, you know what I mean. So that's the difference. Like it's more so of like not in there. I mean, alpha male. Like who? That's what we're recruiting. That's what we're standing on.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Guys is alpha males. Guys is where their feet at. And guys is very vocal and want to compete, you know, and have an edge on them. You know what I mean? So that's more so of being specific. You know what I mean? You won't want to date a cat. You would rather date another tiger, right? Or a lion, something more manly. Yeah, so
We're going the right.